YouTubers, Pastor Bob. Hey, I hope you guys are all having a blessed week. Mine went pretty good compared to the weeks before it. So listen, I want to talk to you real quick about maintenance. I know you're thinking, well, that's weird. Well, it is weird. But maintenance, you know what? We all maintain a lot of things. Me, since I've retired, that's all I'm doing, maintaining things. Cleaning the pool, mowing the grass, maintaining the cars. All I do is maintain stuff. It's what I do. House, car, motorcycles, you have to maintain everything. Because as you use everything, it has constant wear and tear on it. So it has to be maintained. Without maintenance, everything pretty much returns to the dust. I don't know if you guys have ever seen any of these shows on TV where they go to some place that's been abandoned. And man, I'm serious. You can go to some Russian city that's only been abandoned for like 20 years. And if you were walking through the woods, you might walk right on by and never even see it because everything is just overgrown. You can't even tell it's there. Every time I go into some place that's abandoned, I'm always amazed at how quickly nature just takes over. So anyway, everything has to be maintained. This is what it says in Galatians 5, 1-5. That's what Paul says. Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith Christ has made us free, and be not entangled again with the yoke of bondage. Behold, I, Paul, say to you that if you be circumcised, Christ shall profit you nothing. For I testify again to every man that is circumcised that he is a debtor to do the whole law. Christ is become of no effect unto you. Whosoever you are justified by the law, you have fallen from grace. For we through the Spirit wait for the hope of righteousness by faith. Now listen, let me explain that to you. Paul was having trouble with the Galatian Christians. Some people had come by there and said, oh, no, you're saved, but you have to be circumcised too. You know, you have to do that. And so Paul comes back and says, you know what? If you do that, then you got to keep the whole law. Every single word of it. And he didn't want him doing that. You know, the law. When Moses led the people out of Egypt, and God gave them the law. I think it's 430 different aspects of the law, 430 different little regulations. You know what the law was? The law was spiritual maintenance. They had to maintain the whole thing to keep it going. Everything they did, they had to redo in a couple of months of the following year. You know, the high priest would go into the Holy of Holies once a year and pray for the sins of the people, that they would be covered. Not got rid of, covered. The law was maintenance. You had to maintain everything all the time. Well, listen, I've had a couple conversations here recently with people, and you know, there's a lot of people that somehow think that they need to maintain their salvation. They have to maintain it, just like in the days of the law, you had to maintain the law. So, to maintain your salvation means that you need to do things to keep it valid, like it can expire or something. And here's some of the top ones that most people do. To maintain your salvation means that you need to do things to stay in the love of God. In other words, you have to maintain that. You're going to fall out of the love of God unless you do things to maintain that love. To maintain your salvation means you need to do things where it's going to go. You can't just sit there and enjoy it. You have to maintain it. So to maintain your salvation means you have to do things to maintain it. But then on the other hand, that also means that you have to not do some things, or you lose it. So there's things you have to do to maintain it, and there's other things if you don't do, you lose it that way too. So you have do's and don'ts. So that's what maintaining your salvation means. You have do's to keep it and don'ts to keep you from losing it. People, that's too complicated for me. I'm serious. That form of Christianity, that line of thinking, that is far too complicated for me. I don't want to have to do anything, and I don't want to forget to do anything, because if there's anything I have to do and if there's anything I have to forget to do, I will forget the one, not remember the other, I'll be lost. Simple as that. I cannot maintain my salvation. Too hard. I prefer God's truth over that. This is what it says in God's truth. Ephesians 2:8-9. For by grace are you saved through faith. It's not of yourself. It's a gift of God, not of works, lest any man should boast. That's verse 8 and 9. You know what it doesn't say? For by works are you saved. No, it doesn't say that. For by grace are you saved through works. No, it doesn't say that. It's not a gift of God. You got to maintain it. Doesn't say that. No. Pretty simple. For by grace are you saved through faith, and that not of yourselves. It is a gift of God, not of works. You don't have to maintain it. Simple as that. Now, I tell you guys all the time, and I want you to remember this. We have to keep an eye on Satan. Even though we don't maintain our salvation, you have to keep an eye on him, because he'll slip things into your life so subtly that you won't even know it. And pretty soon when you identify him, you get rid of him. Not because your salvation's in question, it's never in question. It's because there are things that are just not profitable. They don't do you any good. Satan just slipped them in when you weren't looking. And when Satan slips those little things in your life, it has nothing to do with your salvation. Nothing. It says in Ephesians 2:10, listen what it says. We are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus unto good works, which God has before ordained that we should walk in them. So if we're his workmanship, not a whole lot that I need to work at. He already did it all. People, listen, you do not maintain your salvation. It's a gift of God, not of works. You're either born again or you're not. It's that simple. You're either a child of God or you're not. It's that simple. If you think that you have to maintain your salvation by what you do or what you do not do, that is religion by works, not faith. You never maintain your salvation. Anyway, a couple of people were confused about that. I've had a lot of conversations recently about that. And you know what? Works just always seem to creep in to religion. I don't know what it is, but works always seem to creep in. But I know one thing, I don't have any. When it comes to works, I don't have any. I was watching a preacher the other day, and I thought, are you kidding me? You just said that? This is what he said. This guy is a big, well-known preacher. And at the end of his sermon, this is what he said. He said, God, the day I walk through the gates of heaven, I'm going to be so surprised. I'm going to turn around, throw my hands up in the air, and scream, I made it. I made it. Whew. People, not me. I am not going to be saying that at all. No. When I get to heaven and I walk through those gates, I'm going to look up at God and I'm going to say, Lord, I have no idea how you pulled that off. Lord, I have no idea how you got me here. None. Because I can honestly say, everybody, listen to me. I fought him tooth and nail the whole way. I fought God tooth and nail the whole way. And I did. I do not maintain my salvation. If I had to maintain it, I'm lost. Because I could never do it. I would screw it up. Somewhere, somehow, I would screw it up. It's that simple. So you don't maintain your salvation. Remember that. I hope you guys all have a blessed week. I hope God blesses each and every one of you on the other side of the screen. Summer's about over. I'm glad I'm done with the heat. I'm ready to get out my sweatshirts, my blue jeans, my boots. I'm ready for winter. You guys have a blessed week. Remember, heaven or hell, you choose. Just remember, once you take your last breath, it's a done deal.